In the world of technology, money, and mystery, there's one name that continues to spark endless debates, wild theories, and relentless searches: Satoshi Nakamoto. The elusive creator of Bitcoin, possibly the most revolutionary financial invention of the 21st century, remains hidden in the shadows. Satoshi's identity is not just a trivial detail. Whoever they are, they sit on a fortune worth billions of dollars, hold the keys to potentially disrupt global finance, and have shaped the way we think about money forever. Yet, despite more than 15 years of speculation, nobody has been able to definitively answer the question, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? The story begins in October 2008 when a 9-page white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, was published on a cryptography mailing list by someone using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. The paper proposed a digital currency that worked without a central authority, built on a decentralized network and secured through cryptography. Just a few months later, in January 2009, the Bitcoin network went live, and the first Genesis block was mined. This was the birth of Bitcoin, and the beginning of one of the greatest mysteries of our time. The early days of Bitcoin were quiet. Only a handful of tech enthusiasts, cryptographers, and libertarians paid attention. But Satoshi was there, actively communicating with developers, posting on forums, and improving the code. They wrote in fluent English, sometimes using British spellings like color and favor, other times using American phrasing. This subtle inconsistency has been one of many clues that people have tried, and failed, to use to pin down their identity. By mid-2010, Satoshi began withdrawing from public life. They handed control of the Bitcoin code repository to other developers and stopped replying to emails. Their last known communication was in April 2011, when they told another developer they had moved on to other things. And just like that, Satoshi Nakamoto vanished from the internet. The timing of this disappearance, right as Bitcoin was beginning to gain real traction, has only fueled speculation. Now here's where the story gets even more intriguing. During those first 2 years, Satoshi mined roughly 1 million Bitcoins. At Bitcoin's early price, that wasn't much, just a few dollars. But as Bitcoin's value skyrocketed over the years, that stash has become worth tens of billions of dollars. In today's market, Satoshi is easily one of the richest individuals on the planet, yet none of those coins have ever been spent or moved. This silence, financial and otherwise, has created a mystery unlike any other in modern history. Over the years, countless theories have emerged about Satoshi's true identity. Some believe Satoshi is a single genius coder. Others think it's a group of developers who work together. A few believe it might even be a government agency, creating Bitcoin as a test for digital currencies. But the most popular theories focus on a handful of real people. One of the earliest suspects was Hal Finney, a renowned cryptographer and one of the first people to run Bitcoin software. Finney was the recipient of the very first Bitcoin transaction, sent directly from Satoshi. He also lived just a few blocks away from a man named Dorian Nakamoto in California, which led to wild speculation. However, Finney denied being Satoshi and provided convincing evidence of his innocence before passing away in 2014. Another name that often comes up is Nick Szabo, a computer scientist and legal scholar who created a digital currency concept called BitGold years before Bitcoin. Szabo's writing style, technical expertise, and timing all match Satoshi's profile, but Szabo has repeatedly denied being the creator of Bitcoin, and no concrete evidence links him to the pseudonym. Then there's Craig Wright, an Australian businessman who in 2016 publicly claimed to be Satoshi. Wright even offered what he said was cryptographic proof, but experts quickly debunked his evidence. Many in the crypto community dismiss his claim entirely, yet he continues to insist he is the man behind the mask, going so far as to engage in lawsuits over it. Some theories go beyond individuals. Could Satoshi have been a collective effort by cypherpunk pioneers, with figures like Adam Back, Wei Dai, and others contributing anonymously? Or could it have been a covert government project designed to test the viability of a decentralized currency in a post-2008 financial crisis world? But perhaps the most fascinating part of the mystery is why Satoshi remains hidden. If they truly are sitting on billions, why not cash in? The answer might be philosophical. In the white paper and early messages, Satoshi emphasized decentralization and removing trust from centralized figures. By disappearing, they ensured that Bitcoin would be judged on its own merits, not on the charisma or flaws of its creator. If Satoshi revealed themselves, Bitcoin could become politicized, regulated more aggressively, or even targeted by powerful governments. Of course, there's another possibility. Satoshi is no longer alive. If the private keys to those 1 million Bitcoins were lost or destroyed, they will remain forever untouched, effectively removing them from circulation. This would make Bitcoin even scarcer, and ironically, even more valuable. The search for Satoshi has taken strange turns. Journalists have chased false leads, amateur sleuths have analyzed writing styles using software, and conspiracy theorists have tied Satoshi to everyone from Elon Musk to the late Steve Jobs. Yet every lead has ultimately ended in uncertainty. The mystery has become part of Bitcoin's mythos, fueling both curiosity and skepticism. Some argue that finding Satoshi could be dangerous. If one person is revealed to control such a massive amount of Bitcoin, it could shake the markets. Even the perception that Satoshi might sell their coins could cause prices to plummet. On the other hand, if Satoshi's identity was revealed and they turned out to be someone trustworthy or widely respected, it could legitimize Bitcoin further in the eyes of skeptics. Today, Bitcoin has grown far beyond its creator. Governments, banks, corporations, and millions of everyday people use or invest in it. Yet the shadow of Satoshi still looms large. They are the ghost in the machine, a billionaire nobody can find, whose absence is as powerful as their creation. And so, the legend continues. The truth is, we may never know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. They may be watching from the sidelines, amused by the speculation. They may be gone forever, their identity buried along with the early history of Bitcoin. But their invention has already changed the world, making money borderless, trustless, and for the first time in history, truly digital. Perhaps that's the final clue to understanding Satoshi. They didn't create Bitcoin for fame or fortune, but to solve a problem they believed was worth solving. And once the solution was out there, they stepped back, letting it belong to the world, not to them. One thing is certain, whoever Satoshi Nakamoto is, they have earned a place in history alongside the greatest inventors and visionaries. And maybe the mystery is the point. In a system built on decentralization, the creator's anonymity is the ultimate proof of concept. If Bitcoin can thrive without Satoshi, it means the system truly works. So the next time you hear about Bitcoin's price hitting a new high or see a debate about crypto regulation, remember, somewhere out there, or perhaps nowhere at all, is the person who started it all. They might be the richest person you'll never meet, the most influential thinker you'll never hear speak, and the greatest mystery the digital age has ever produced. And that leaves us with one final question. If you had the power to create something that could change the world, would you walk away from it and disappear forever? So what do you think? Is Satoshi Nakamoto a single genius, a quiet coalition of cypherpunks, or a carefully engineered ghost story meant to keep the spotlight on code rather than a cult of personality? Could they still be alive, watching from a distance as blocks tick by? Or has their digital legacy outlived them, sealed behind lost keys and untouched wallets? Drop your wildest but reasoned theory below. Was it an early cryptographer like Hal Finney? A legal tech thinker like Nick Szabo, an outspoken claimant angling for attention, or something stranger, a government lab road-testing decentralized money after the 2008 crisis? If you followed the breadcrumbs, British spellings, time zone clues, terse emails, the sudden exit, you know each hint just opens another door. And that's the thrill. Satoshi's silence forces us to judge Bitcoin on ideas, not idols. Maybe that was the lesson all along. If money can run without a face, power can spread without a throne. I want to hear your take. Who benefits most from staying hidden? And what happens if those early coins move tomorrow? Would markets panic, or would it finally prove the network is bigger than any person? Smash that like button, subscribe for more high-signal mysteries in tech and finance, and share this with a friend who swears they've solved it. In the age of the internet, the biggest question isn't always what's the truth. Sometimes it's what changes if we finally know? Maybe the chase matters more than the reveal. Either way, your theory teaches us.